Good day to you all. Today, something a bit different to the usual Forza Motorsport setups, as this is called Digital Tarmac. So I do actually like playing other driving games, believe it or not. This time we're looking at a management game, and what I'm doing is seeing what the difference is between Max Verstappen and one of the shittier drivers in the game, this Cohen or whatever his name is. So what I've done, I started a championship. It's all on easy settings. Maybe actually it's not. It might be on standard for the racing. Anyway, either way, I've got Max Verstappen and I'm keeping him in the standard original car, no upgrades. And I've now about to do the third round. And I think the reason I was sat here on here was because somebody was flipping disturbing me. Anyway, you'll see they've done 2 rounds, so Red Bull's third in the championship because obviously the second driver hasn't really been pulling his weight. You could see he had 2 pole positions and all that. I think I was a bit confused there because I'd been playing it with a controller and then I'm doing this recording on my PC, so I was getting used to using a mouse. But you can see he's had 2 pole positions, a win, etc. And then this other guy, Ido, he's done jack shit really. He's next to useless. You might as well flipping stick a dog in the car in all honesty. But anyway, I thought we'd see what the difference is. So we're about to hit the third round. This guy, Ido, he's got some modifications, which you'll see. I'm just having a look here because I was just seeing if I could put any more mods on. Didn't realise the thing was shut down. And I'm not going to have enough time to get any more mods. And I think I was just double checking I've got no other parts that I could manufacture, which you can see I haven't. There's only the original version available. Got some extra side pods, all that. So just to emphasise the point, yeah, I was just checking the engines and all that are still alright, because they do wear out a bit quicker on these Red Bulls. That is the drawback with them. I haven't played this for a little bit because I've been playing Motorsport Manager because everyone's kept on about that, but I actually think this is a better game personally. So rank on grid, you can see there, that's Verstappen's car. He's not very good. Well, he's 6 on the low speed, 6 on brake cooling, 4th on engine cooling, and then you can see the other guy's cars first on everything apart from DRS effectiveness and dirty air tolerance, where he's second. Okay, right, so we're going to go out for first practice. I always manage that myself, because that's where you want to get all your setup. My general way of doing it is I'll send them out. They'll get their 5 settings, whether they like or not. You put them in the pits, tweak it to get it as good as you can. You can see there as well on my tactics, I always do the avoid high risk curbs and driving clean air as well, so it stops the engine getting quite as hot. I don't bother doing it in a race though, because it don't make enough difference to. It don't really make enough difference where you might end up losing a position on the track and barely save the engine at all. But in practice, you don't want to cause unnecessary wear, so I tend to just stick them on standard pace, standard fuel, unless anything untoward's happening. So anyway, I've got them out. I want to get them on their 5 of 5 on their practice goals. Obviously the rain started coming down. You don't want to be giving them too many pit stops to do, so what I'll tend to do if I can is just keep them out on the same tyres just to get to them goals, because the tyres will get locked away at the end of the session usually, so you don't really want to be burning through too many tyres because you don't always know what's going to happen in the race. So anyway, they're still harping on, look. It's really wet out here. Come on, mate. A professional driver. Stop moaning. Right, so any second, it should have its 4 or 5. There you go, 5 of 5. So pull them in. Obviously, if you've been playing this game a while, I'm sure you're already doing something similar to this. Piss around moving the sliders for a minute. Okay, I've moved the sliders. They're reconfiguring, but I better put some wet tyres on because the amount of water on the track's quite high now, and you could crash the car and damage bits and all that. So, you know, there's a limit to how much you want to push it. So basically, I'll get them both back out there. Right, just quickly sticking the wets on car 2, get that sent back out. Speed it up. And yeah, so ideal. Normally, if there's no changes in weather, you bring them in, you move your sliders, whack them back out on the hards. I don't bother wasting any of my mediums or anything like that. I usually just stick with the hards, and then just finish the session. Normally now when they get their goals again, the 5 of 5, I don't actually... What have I called that one in? I think I called them in because it's just got... Yeah, I've called them in again this time because obviously it's just getting so dry. I don't want to end up flipping ruining them wets, because sometimes if the wets haven't got much wear on, which they hadn't, the game will let you keep them and use them later on in the race or something. So that's why I've pulled them in, but normally I wouldn't bother. If they got any amount of wear on them, I'd just make them use them till the end of the session, because ideally now you don't want to be messing about doing what I'm doing here, moving these sliders. What you want to do, you've done your initial setup, is really you just want to leave them out so that track acclimatisation goes up, because at the moment you can see car 2's only on 13%. Well, ideally by the time you come to do your qualifying, you want that on 100%, but realistically the only way you're going to get that to 100% a lot of the time is you're going to have to manually do all the practice sessions, and I can't be asked to do that. I might do the second one if I have a particularly bad first session where I can't quite get my setups and that right. But you can see he's got his 5 of 5 there on the first car. We'll just do the same again on the second car. Right, you can see now the track's dried out, so this is where I ignore it. So I'm not messing up another set of tyres. I'm not doing another flipping tyre change as well, because that tires out the pit crew. So at this point I just set them all on the lowest speeds, like conserve and that on the fuel, to try not to overheat the tyre too much, so at least they can get as much track acclimatisation as possible. Mate, he's still only got 3 of his 5 goals, so he's perhaps not going to get all 5 before the end of the session. Is he going to be tight? He's got 4. Yeah, he's got 5, so you know, that's not too bad a session there. Wore out more tyres than you want to do ideally, but yeah, that's not too bad. But if you keep changing tyres every 5 seconds, you're literally going to mess up your pit crew. Right, so that's Max Verstappen. He only got 9th. Oh, I can't. You can see he done better than Cohen. So now we'll go to practice 2. Usually with this one, I'll just not have a little tweak up, make sure I get the settings near enough as good as I can. They're pretty good. Yeah, it looks alright. Simulate. Like I say, it don't matter if you ain't got 100% on the setup. It don't really matter that much if you ain't got 100% on the thing. Maybe if you're on a hard level, you can see Ido's quite a bit behind there. He ain't going to have quite as good car parts knowledge as well, because obviously he's got the newer parts. So you can see they've dialed it in a little bit more because they've been out on the track, so you just give it another check. Yeah, I mean, essentially you can see it shaping up that it's not all about just the car. This driver's Verstappen's obviously making a difference. I mean, as far as I can see, he is the best driver in the game, certainly in them early seasons. There you go, simulate again. You can see Max is the fastest man out there now, still with a stock car. 2 seconds, well, second and a half nearly faster than his teammate, who's got the upgraded bits. And they've both got nearly the same track acclimatisation. They've both got good setups. I mean, how I'm doing this is typically how I do the game. Qualifying, I never bother doing it manually. Again, this is the last time you're going to be able to have all them adjustments. So just make sure I'm 100% happy with that set up there before we go in. You can see you can have a little tweak, just get it a little bit better. Right, we're going with that. So you'll see again. See, he's eliminated. So all that time through practice, he was actually like midway in the table, got his car all set up and everything, and then ends up getting eliminated. Yeah, you only got the wing adjustment there. So yeah, this time just go straight, simulate to the race, and there you go, on the pole, like 6-7 tenths of a second there. And he hasn't got the best car because his teammate's got a slightly better car. So we're going to the race. So what I decided to do here, I won't go for a strategy. I just saved it, because the reason I do that is because sometimes, especially with that Cohen, if you start doing things like high overtake aggression, he's got a habit of crashing. The better drivers don't have, but you start pushing things hard with them lesser drivers, sometimes they do flipping go off the track. Well, I thought what I'll do, I'll give him the medium tyre at a start, and then if the wear's not too bad, you never know, you might be able to go straight on the soft. Unlikely, but possible. Whereas I was just going to run Verstappen on the medium and hard. So as he's at the back, give him the advantage, so get everything up on max. The reason I do the avoid high risk curbs as a rule is because I've had it when I first started playing the game where I didn't do that and they were smashing the flipping suspension up like mad, and sometimes that knocked them out of a race. So I've found since I do that, that doesn't happen, and I doubt it makes them that much slower. I haven't noticed them being any slower as a result. So there you go, straight away Max Verstappen shooting off, no problems, as you'd expect. So yeah, I mean, the majority of this race, because obviously I'm narrating over it, the majority of this race was actually trying to manage that Cohen and try and get him somewhere, because Max, really, I just left him on attack mode and left him on balanced fuel and balanced ERS, and that was pretty much it. He just flipping cleared off into the distance, whereas this one I had to spend a little bit of time sort of trying to manage him, and yeah, I suppose having the second driver can, when the game's a bit tedious, having a driver that just clears off into the distance all the time gives you something to do, doesn't it? Anyway, you can see that this Cohen there, despite having the best car on the grid, is yeah, he's not doing anything amazing really, is he? At least the tyres isn't overheating on this one. I think on one of the first 2 rounds I was having big problems with tyres overheating. On this one I haven't got to worry too much. So anyway, what you're seeing here, me having to keep dick-arsing around with the ERS and the fuel, etc, etc. That's pretty much how it was for the whole race. I did decent enough pit stops. Okay, so fast forward to near the end of the race. You can see Cohen's having a little bit of heat in his tyres following these other cars. I've also had to knock Verstappen down to just aggressive, but I mean he's leading by a country mile, so it don't really matter. So yeah, I think at this point I did have like a last ditch attempt at trying to get by some of these people in front, but obviously having the hard tyre don't help. I think I went, yeah, you could see I had it on high overtake aggression. I generally don't like doing that with him, because when I've done it before he seemed to flipping make mistakes and crash and that, so I generally don't do it. But I just really wanted him to get a little bit further up the field, considering, like I say, he's in the best car. So anyway, yeah, it's pretty much done and dusted at this point. Cohen, being the useless tosspot that he is, has got no chance really of doing a lot. So yeah, it's just watch really. That's all you can do, isn't it? It's not a lot. Like I say, you might as well just stick an animal or something in the car for how good it is really with him. You could stick anyone in it. So it just proves it's not the car, it's also the drivers. I might do another video just to see what the difference is between the what happens if I just get the drivers that you start with on that team, and then just give driver number 2 all the goodies, and then keep Verstappen on the standard and see how long it takes for the other one to beat him. But yeah, I would say, looking at it, Verstappen is definitely the best driver in the game. I mean, that Cohen is pretty good. I won the championship with Russell. I think it was the first year I had him on the Williams team. But yeah, there's not many drivers in there that could win that championship for you, I don't think, regardless of what car you put them in. But I think Verstappen, you could probably stick him in one of the crappier cars and he's still going to win the championship. Maybe that might be another experiment to see what team I could get him on. Like, put him in the worst possible car and see how well he could do. But it's going to be hard, because obviously he's not going to go on to sign for one of them teams. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Something a little bit different from the usual Forza Motorsport setups, because I do actually play other games, believe it or not. Thank you.